Hello everyone, you're watching Mahima in the making, and today I'm making Besani Shimla Mirch. So for Besani Shimla Mirch, let's see what are the ingredients and what is the recipe. So for Besani Shimla Mirch, first I have taken some besan and we are going to get the besan ready, and after that we'll do all the other steps. So as you can see, I've taken about 3 tablespoons of besan and I'm just going to saute it dry. So there's nothing else in this pan, just besan, and I'm just roasting the besan till it becomes slightly brown. So we don't have to do anything before that. We have to first get our besan ready because we will need it as soon as we cook our sabji. I'm still roasting my besan, and I can smell the real flavor of a roasted besan. It's a similar kind of smell that you get when you make besan ke laddu. And if you see, my besan is sticking to the pan, dark brown in color. So it has turned its color now. It has started to become dark brown, and I'm going to saute it for another minute or two so that I roast it really well. हमें बेसन को बिल्कुल भी कच्चा नहीं छोड़ना है, क्योंकि कच्चे बेसन से सब्जी का स्वाद खराब हो जाएगा. So I'm going to roast it for another minute or two. Now, as you can see, I've been sauteing it for the last 3-4 minutes, and the color of besan has changed to light brown. So, and it's no more sticking to the pan, so it has got roasted really well. As you can see, it's leaving the pan very clearly. So it's done now. So we don't need to do anything else. I'm just going to remove it from the hob and leave it to cool down here. But before you leave it to cool down, you can just add 2 things in it. As you can see, this is amchur. So I'm going to add some amchur as per your taste. Just sprinkle it all over a little bit. And as you can see, here is some salt. So I'm going to add some salt, just sprinkle it as per your taste, and leave it and just mix it, amchur and salt, and we leave it to cool down. So our besan is ready, so we don't need to worry about adding besan later on as soon as our sabji is cooked. Now let's start with our sabji. So here is my pan, switching on the hob. And I need to add oil in it. So whichever oil you want to use, I'm using vegetable oil, rapeseed oil. So just adding little more than a tablespoon. No, sorry, a teaspoon. So around 2 teaspoons I've added. And we'll let the oil heat. So that, remember that I always make my sabjis mostly without onions. So I don't use onions in my sabji. So here is my oil, and I'm just going to add cumin seed and check if the oil is ready. It has started to splutter, but not really well. It's taking time. So we're going to heat the oil a little more. And as you can see, while my oil is heating, let me show you. I have chopped my peppers, sliced them into thin slices. So there's a very easy method of slicing them into these thin slices. What you need to do is just slice them into half longitudinally. So not latitudinally, but longitudinally. And after you slice them into half longitudinally, just remove all the seeds inside. And then Again chop them into half latitudinally. So first longitudinal, then latitudinal, and then you can slice into thin crescents. Okay. Now let's come back to our oil. Our oil is ready. As you can see, I'll show you my cumin seed test. So see, the seeds have started to splutter really well. So I'm going to add some cumin seeds. And if you want, you can also add hing. Hing gives a really good flavor. But today I'm skipping hing in this recipe, but you can add as per your taste. Now cumin seeds have spluttered, and now I'm just going to add my pepper. What we call Shimla Mirch, that is our pepper. And let's just saute and mix it well. So pepper cooks really quickly, so it won't take long for this sabji to be ready. Now let's add some salt as per your taste, not too much. Add some coriander powder. These are the primary spices that we usually add in most of our cooking. And here is haldi, turmeric. And we know that turmeric has got good healing properties for the body. All our spices have got some function or the other. Let's mix it well. Now as you can see, I'm just mixing it really well. And now, as I always tell you, I'm going to leave it covered partially. So as you can see, there's some gap here. I've left it partially covered so that the sabji doesn't become mushy. And I'm going to leave this flame on medium and let it cook for some time. Okay, let's check how our sabji is doing. So it's been there for about a minute and a half, and it's starting to cook, but we can see that it's not completely cooked. So the Shimla Mirch or the pepper is not yet soft. Let's keep it on medium flame, partially covered for another 2-3 minutes, and I think it will be ready in that time. Remember that we don't want to make it very mushy, so we would have to leave it really crisp. It shouldn't be mushy, and we will check it again in 3 minutes. As we can see, our sabji has roasted well. As you can see, it's become golden brown in color. I can show you. Can you see golden brown in color? So we have sauteed it well, and now we don't want to cook it any further, because if we cook it any further, as you can see, it breaks easily. Look, it breaks easily. If you cook it any further, it will become mushy, and we don't want to make it mushy. So now we can leave it like this for another minute or two, and we switch off the flame. And after a minute, when it cools down slightly, just slightly, we are going to add our besan. Okay, now our sabji is ready. Now we want just a little moisture in our sabji, because we're going to add besan, and the besan should bind well with the sabji. So I'm adding a tablespoon of water in the sabji. Sabji is still hot. You can see the water is sizzling, bubbling. And now we start to add our besan in the sabji. So add as much besan as can cover the whole of the sabji. See. And now we just mix the besan well with the sabji. So as you can see, the besan looks dry, and we want to make it slightly moist. So if you think that the besan is dry, as I think, we are going to add just another teaspoon of water, just enough to make it moist. So just a little water. So this will bind the besan with the sabji, and it will be just delicious. Yeah, now this is the right kind of binding that I'm looking for. So all the pieces are coated well in besan, it has stuck well to the sabji. And now you can leave this sabji for another minute or so, maybe 2 minutes, on low medium flame and covering it partially. Now you don't need, covering it fully. You don't need to cover it partially now. And just leave it so that the basin can really cook well. Although we don't need to do that because we roasted our basin initially, but just give it another good roast, just saute it slightly more, just stirring your spoon in between and keeping it on low medium flame, and just leave it covered, and the flame is low to medium, and another minute or so our sabji will be ready. Another thing that I want to mention here is I did not add red chili powder. I did not add red chili powder here because I like to make a sabji which is not very spicy. But if you want, you can add red chili powder as per your taste, and of course hing, as I mentioned in my video earlier. So let's look at our sabji. As you can see, steam is coming out. It's really done well. There we go. So our sabji is now just ready. Now we are going to take it out and present it in a dish. Let's do that. So as you can see, our Besani Shimla Mirch all ready to have a delicious taste. You can eat it with roti. I prefer to eat it with roti, but if you want, a paratha is equally good. A naan might not be that good. Besani Shimla Mirch.